Hello, everybody. This is Sophia Mona Lisa of the Golden Race Center and the Rose Wheel Mystery School. And today is Monday, July 8th. I have a brand new video journal for you, which I hope you will find very, very intriguing. Now, many of you may be aware, if you watch us regularly, that we work very closely with the Venus Synodic cycle. And our work has been evolving over the last 3 years since we started engaging the Venus Synodic cycle. Now, I happen to know that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of women and men out there that are consciously engaging with the Venus Synodic cycle. And a huge part of that goes out to my priestess sister, Kaylin Castell, who did the groundbreaking work on the Venus Synodic cycle. And of course, she worked very closely with Daniel Giamario, who did the groundbreaking work on the Mars Synodic cycle. So everything that we are doing here through the Rose Wheel Mystery School is because of the groundbreaking work that Kaylin and Daniel did all those years ago. And I would just like to say that our work here is absolutely leading edge work when it comes to engaging the Venus Synodic cycle. And it has been leading edge work in terms of engaging with the Mars Synodic cycle and the Mercury Synodic cycle as well. And today I'm going to be focusing on the Venus Synodic cycle. Now, just for those of you who are not aware of what these images on the screen represent, let me just tell you that this is a beautiful image of the pattern that Venus as a luminary body makes in the sky every 8 years. And the way that this pattern of what we call the rose in the sky is created is through her individual 19-month synodic cycle journey. So what happens is, let's say right now we are in what's known as the Leo goddess. As far as the archetype goes, I'm calling it the divine royalty goddess archetype. So we start up here at the top of this petal with this Leo goddess journey. And then over the 19 months, Venus moves through the sky to the next petal. And that's when the next synodic cycle, which is going to be the Pisces goddess cycle, that which I am calling the divine mother archetype, will begin. And then while that's transpiring, Venus will be moving to the sky until she gets to the tip of this petal for the next synodic cycle, which has in the past been known as the Scorpio goddess cycle, but has now been transformed into the Libra goddess journey. And so she continues to make these 19-month synodic cycle journeys from the tip of the petal to the tip of the petal. So you can see that there's a series of 5 different synodic cycles, and those 5 19-month cycles make up the whole 8 years, where we come back again to what we call a Venus return. And now we have this gorgeous rose in the sky. So that's what that image represents. Now, the image over here, which is spectacular, is an image of Inanna. And traditionally, and I mean over millennia, when I say traditionally, humanity has engaged the Venus Synodic cycle through the myth of Inanna, where Inanna goes into, makes this descent from the sky into the underworld to meet her sister Ereshkigal. And then several things happen. She ends up hanging dead on a hook for 3 days in the underworld. And then she has these allies who come and revive her, resurrect her, and then she makes the journey up out of the underworld into the sky again. So that has been the template that, again, for millennia has been used for working with, engaging consciously with the Venus Synodic cycle. Well, let me tell you that when myself and my soul sister, Winsong, began working with the Venus Synodic cycle in our own unique way, we initiated that work with what was known as the Venus Gemini Synodic cycle. And the archetype for that Gemini goddess was the rainbow goddess. And so, like those before us, we began working with Venus through that Inanna myth. And then something very unexpected happened for us. And it was actually in the Inanna underworld journey of that Gemini rainbow goddess cycle, which happens to be where we are now in the current Leo divine royalty goddess journey. We understood that the Inanna myth was no longer relevant for the Venus Synodic cycle because the whole myth is based on a split between the two sisters, Inanna, who descends into the underworld, and Ereshkigal, who is in the underworld. And what became obvious to us by what was transpiring in the sky at the time is that the split between the two sisters was being healed, and that what was going to transpire, and what did transpire, is that Inanna and Ereshkigal rose together out of the underworld. This time, Ereshkigal was not left behind in the underworld. And so when we recognized that, it created quite a conundrum for us because we weren't really sure where we were supposed to go with the work. And because of the work that Winsong and I had done previously in 2019, also during the Inanna underworld, where we had gone to France on a Magdalene journey, and we had received this multi-dimensional attunement at the seat of Isis in France, that prepared us to receive the next piece. And it was at or right after the resurrection seed point, so March of 2021, that in fact it was Yeshua himself who showed up for us. And he explained to us that there was a whole new template being given to us by himself and his divine beloved Mary Magdalene for the Venus Synodic cycle. And it was during this time that he explained to us that the whole ascent journey that would be the next phase of the Venus Synodic cycle was going to be about the emergence of Sophia, the beloved of Christ, through humanity. And that emergence of Sophia through humanity was in fact, in actuality, the second coming of Christ. And from that moment, as I said, leading edge work, everything went off on a completely uncharted trajectory in terms of working with Yeshua and Mary Magdalene, who are both embodiments of Sophia-Christ consciousness, and then working with the cosmic Sophia and the cosmic Christ and our own Sophia-Christ consciousness. So what's really incredible is one of the pieces that has been brought into our work, which is again leading edge, are the alchemical teachings that my soul sister Winsong has been sharing with us through this entire Leo divine royalty goddess cycle. And what we've discovered recently in terms of the alchemy is this mysterious 8th step of alchemy, which is known as the Alpha and Omega. And of course, in this image of Yeshua, you can clearly see the symbol for the Alpha and the Omega. And so what's going to happen 2 days from today, which is mind-blowing, is we are going to experience Venus rising as evening star. And when that event happens, every chakra that we have consciously engaged with through the entire descent journey, the first phase of the Synodic cycle, and the Inanna underworld journey, the second phase of the Synodic cycle, every one of these chakras are going to be at that mysterious 8th step of alchemy, the Alpha and the Omega. And the fact that this is all unfolding in such exquisite divine perfection to prepare us for the third phase of this Leo goddess, Leo divine royalty goddess, Venus Synodic cycle, is just a testament to not only the power of the work that we are doing with Sophia and the Galactic New Earth Project, which is aligned with the Venus Synodic cycle, and in terms of where humanity is being taken in an evolutionary way. So what that brings us to then, in August, we will be initiating that next phase, that third phase of the ascent journey. And this is going to be unlike anything that has ever been done for an ascent journey, as I said, over millennia. This is new. This is leading edge. And of course, all of this has been directed by the Sophia-Christ consciousness. Now, you may have heard us speak about one of the things that's going to be new about this journey in some of our most recent Venus gatherings. And that is that we will no longer be rising in this ascent journey through our 3D chakra system. We are actually going to make this ascent journey through our crystalline body, higher octave chakra systems. And so this is a gorgeous picture of our crystalline body. And what you will notice is in our sacred temples, our 3D physical bodies, the pure light that we are gets refracted through the prism of this 3D reality. And each one of these chakras is identified with one of the colors of the rainbow, which is created when the light is refracted through the prism. So we know that the root chakra is red and the sacral chakra is orange and the solar plexus is yellow and so forth and so on. But because this ascent journey is happening within the higher octave chakras of the crystalline body, it is a higher frequency journey, a higher frequency evolutionary experience, because in the crystalline body, we see our higher octave chakras as the pure light that we are. This is making up in our crystalline body, our light, and our crystalline body, what we refer to as our light bodies. So we're going to be engaging at a completely different level than anyone has ever engaged with the ascent journey. And yesterday, our Galactic New Earth tribe had a little meeting to do some work around our underworld journey experience. And I took the opportunity to share with them some of the new things that we are going to be engaging, some of the new leading edge tools that we will be engaging to facilitate our ability to work with each one of these gate activations at a higher frequency. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the excerpt of that part of the meeting where I'm going through all of the different things that will be new that we will be bringing into the Venus gatherings when we start that ascent journey next month in August. So without further ado, here you go. Thank you, Maureen. Okay, so let's take a moment and look at how things are going to be very different for this ascent journey. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be bridging the old Inanna myth, which we've let go of, to the new crystalline higher octave chakras, which we've never worked with, that nobody I'm aware of working with the Venus Synodic cycle is working with. And so we know that you know, at the end of the Inanna underworld circle, we're like the phoenix that rises from the ashes, so to speak. And when that happens and we start to go up through the gates, we're no longer clearing out space, because in the myth, as Inanna descended, she had these royal vestments that she would remove, and each royal vestment represented a power of hers that she was giving away, so that by the time she had risen like the phoenix, right, she was dead for 3 days on the hook, and then she becomes alive again to rise up to the sky. As she goes through the gate, she's reclaiming the vestments that she had to surrender, and as she's reclaiming the vestment, she is reclaiming the power associated with that vestment. Now, those powers are very much 3D, and we're not going to be working so much in the 3D. We're going to be working 5D plus from the crystalline body, but we're going to use them as a kind of a jumping off place. So for instance, the very first gate, the root chakra, in the old myth, she reclaims her royal robe, and that royal robe represents the life force energy, or what we call the Shakti, the Kundalini. So we understand Kundalini in a 3D sense, but we haven't really worked with Kundalini in a crystalline body sense. And so that's where we're trying to take the old and bridge us into the new. And I love this image because this is an image of the crystalline body. And what you see here is that the chakras are no longer, they're no longer the light that we are is no longer dispersed through the prism, which enables each chakra to have its own color: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. In the crystalline body, because of the frequency, the light is the light. And so while we'll be working at a higher frequency with what the 3D color of the chakra is, we're really, the focus is bringing that chakra, as we're working with that gate activation, out of its differentiated light frequency back into the wholeness of the light. So this image of our crystalline light body is really the vision that we want to hold for the ascent journey. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. Yes. In order to do that, in order to facilitate that, these are the things that we're going to be bringing into the ascent journey, the tools, I should say, that we haven't worked with before. Now, the first thing is engaging in conscious equal partnership. If you're doing the Christ Heart Mentorship program, you're familiar with the fact that we are in this current eclipse season on the Aries Libra axis of conscious equal partnership. And so through the readings you've been getting through that mentorship process program, you have been engaging with conscious equal partnership. We're taking that to a whole new level. How can we be in conscious equal partnership with the alchemical teachings of each gate, with the wisdom teachings of each gate, with the crystalline body at each gate? So we're kind of taking it into a more, trying to find the right word, more depth is what I'm hearing, right? We've been kind of aware that this evolutionary pathway has been going on. If you're doing the Christ Heart Mentorship program, you're engaged with it, but we want to take it to a whole new level in terms of engaging in the ascent journey through conscious equal partnership to each of these aspects of ourself, of our multidimensional self. One of the ways in which we can engage in conscious equal partnership is that for each gate activation, we're going to set an intention. And so it may be a little overwhelming for your mind to think, how am I going to set an intention around, let's say, the gate of manifestation, the root chakra? But this is, again, where Maureen and I felt like if we bring in the power of Inanna's royal vestments into the higher octave, that could kind of be a jumping off place for what the intention may be. So we know that for the root chakra, the royal vestment is her robe. We know it has to do with life force energy. So maybe using that as a jumping off place of what your intention for how you want to consciously engage the life force energy through that higher octave root chakra would be, as an example. So we're going to be doing that. I'm letting you know that now, because the setting of the intention for each gate activation is really, I don't like the word requirement because it sounds very patriarchal, but it is absolutely an integral part that every person is expected to participate in. And to support each other in our intentions, then we're asking for each person to share in an email to the other tribe members what the intention they landed on for that gate within 9 days of the gate activation. So I'm sharing this with you now so you can start to feel in. And each class, we will talk about what the investment and the power is for the next gate, so that you're not like being caught by surprise and you only have 9 days to create an intention. I want to give you enough space for you to really feel into it and allow what's desiring for you in your own self-mastery to reveal itself to you as an intention for that gate activation, as one of the ways in which we can consciously engage in equal partnership with it. Okay. The next thing is, while these intentions at the gates are very personal intentions, we know that this ascent journey is very much around the collective consciousness of humanity. And so we want to set a collective intention for humanity at each gate. And Maureen is going to be bringing in the archangels related to each gate and helping us with what they specialize in terms of setting a collective intention for the gate. So then through that window of the month, you can be working with your personal intention and also the collective intention. In terms of the alchemy teachings that Maureen's going to be bringing in, the way that that's going to be a little bit different than it was in the past. We know that each step of alchemy has its own element. So the first step is calcination. The element for calcination is fire. Well, in the teachings that Lisa Michaels did, who is the high priestess that trained Maureen around the elements, she describes that there are 2 powers for each element. And the higher power for the fire element is shamanic consciousness. Now, that gate activation is going to happen in Virgo, like I mentioned. So that element of Virgo is earth. Earth also has a higher power. So we'll be dealing with the element of the alchemical step and the element of the sign in which the gate activation is happening. And Maureen will be giving us the higher powers of each of those elements that we can, again, work with in conscious equal partnership as we're going through each gate's window of processing. Because on the ascent journey, remember, it's not about clearing out and making space. It's about claiming your power. It's about resurrecting your power of your divine self. The other thing that Maureen's going to be bringing in to help facilitate with the alchemical teachings is the crystal kingdom. And so this is, I think, a beautiful way for us to be able to connect with the higher octave chakras in the crystalline body. Obviously, we use crystals. To me, that makes perfect sense. So she'll be using the body of knowledge from the book that she showed us. I know Gina's gotten the book. I haven't gotten the book yet, but we'll be working with that as well. Then from my side, in terms of the wisdom teachings, in addition to anything else that Sophia wants me to look at as a part of the framework, I'm going to be bringing in the ray for each gate. So root chakra is the first ray. And who is the ascended master for the first ray? El Morya. And where is El Morya's etheric retreat? So I'm going to be bringing in that information around each gate activation. And then, of course, we already know that the Pisces journey is going to be the Divine Mother journey. We already know first gate in this ascent journey is being activated in August, but in September, we've got the first eclipse of the Virgo Pisces new eclipse season, the Sophia-Christ eclipse season, which we know is also aligned with the Divine Mother. So we're bringing in the Divine Mother already. She's made it clear from the March eclipse that she's here. And so we will be working with an aspect of the Divine Mother through the different Taras. There's red Tara, yellow Tara, orange Tara, green Tara, all the way up to violet Tara. So at each one of those gates, we're going to be working with the aspect of the Divine Mother through the Tara of that gate. And each one of those Taras, red Tara has an aspect that's totally different than green Tara. So we'll be working with that in terms of bringing in the Divine Mother energies. So is there anything around what's new, what you're going to be seeing that's new, that anybody has any questions around?
Has anybody else read the Seven Sacred Flames book?
Not me.
I have the book. I've had it for quite a while now. It's very good because it also lends itself to what you're talking about with who is the Chohan at each gate or at on each flame, and the color of the flame and where the retreats are located.
And who's the author of that book? The Seven
Aurelia Jones.
Aurelia Jones. Okay. So I hope that, what we just shared around this new leading edge component of the Venus Synodic Cycles Ascent journey was exciting for you to hear and has piqued your interest in terms of engaging with us at this higher frequency in terms of the Venus Synodic cycle and specifically this ascent journey. Now, you mentioned, you might have heard Winsong mention a book on the crystals that we're going to be working with. That's this book here, The Alchemy of Stones by Robert Simmons. I know she keeps saying Richard Simmons, and I'm sure that wherever Richard is, he gets a chuckle every time he hears her say that. But it is Robert Simmons. And so she will be bringing in the alchemy with the crystals into our work. And then the book that Gina made reference to is right here. It's The Seven Sacred Flames by Aurelia Louisa Jones. And what a synchronicity that Winsong and I had already received that we were going to be bringing in the information, the teachings around the rays, the Lord of each ray or the Chohan of each ray and their etheric retreats. Again, all of this being higher frequency, more Winsong being guided to bring in the archangels, and that this book also includes the information on the archangels. It's just incredible to me how all of this has come together. Now, there is one thing when I watched the replay of our discussion that I realized we didn't speak to. So here's that slide again that you saw in the piece that I shared with you. But this is the other leading edge tool that we're going to be bringing in. Now, after we do the Venus gatherings, which are then made available to the public through the replays, we do a private DNA strand activation. And as I've mentioned, Sophia told us back in the Capricorn goddess journey at that metamorphic seed point that we would be activating the Sophia code strands 13 through 33. And so while we will continue to privately activate the upcoming strands of Sophia code, What we will be doing now, which is different than in the past, is as I'm guiding everyone through the activation in the quantum field, we will be playing in the background the solfeggio frequencies related to each gate activation. Now, there's a really super groovy YouTube channel out there called Meditative Mind, and they've created a bunch of videos that are all music based on these solfeggio frequencies for each of the chakras. So, for instance, at the crown chakra, they have a video that's all about the 963 hertz or 963rd hertz frequency, solfeggio frequency for the crown chakra. So I invite you to go over to that channel. We're not in any way connected. It's just a resource that I use, and I'm happy to share with you to look at some of that work that they've done on the solfeggio frequencies. And being a solfeggio practitioner, it again, another synchronicity when Winsong came to me and she's like, well, what about this piece? And I said, yes, I was even being inspired to bring that in too. And this is the way I was being inspired to bring it in. So that is one more leading edge tool, as I said, that I forgot to include in our discussion yesterday, but there you go. All right, so after having listened to all of this, let me just say, if you are inspired to follow the Galactic New Earth Project as we continue our work with this Venus Synodic cycle for the Leo Divine Royalty Goddess, you can watch the replays of our Venus gatherings on my channel at the Rosewheel Mystery School. And if you click on playlists, I have a playlist called Galactic New Earth Project, and you will find all of the Venus gatherings that we will be having between now and next March as we complete this Leo goddess journey for Venus on that particular playlist. So that's one way that you can start to consciously engage with the Venus Synodic cycle, especially now in August with that ascent journey, because it's going to be such a high frequency, evolutionary, expanding journey for all of us. The other thing is, I just want to bring into your awareness, we have a very small tribe that's doing this work, and we are open to receiving other people who know that they are being called to do this kind of work at this level. And so if you'd like to consciously engage with the Galactic New Earth Project and the Venus Synodic cycle for the remainder of this Leo Divine Royalty Goddess, then I invite you to join one of Sophia's mentorship programs. She has inspired 2 mentorship programs through me. One is called the Christ Heart Mentorship Program, and the other is called the Sophia-Christ Mentorship Program. You can go down to this link here, my website, goldenraycenter.com/mystery-school/. That page tells you all about how the mystery school got developed and has evolved. And at the bottom of the page, there are links to both of those mentorship programs. And so something to be aware of is if you choose to join these mentorship programs, then that automatically makes you eligible for joining the Galactic New Earth Project, where you will be included in the tribe with these Venus gatherings that we are doing. So that's another way that you can consciously engage both the project that Sophia asked me to facilitate and the Venus Synodic cycle, which is what she asked me to align it with. All right, so thank you for sticking with me through this entire video journal. I really appreciate it. As always, if this has been meaningful work to you, please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do that. If you're not getting the notifications that new content's being put up on my channel, please double check to make sure you're still subscribed. And if you at all would like to support me in my work, I invite you to buy me a cup of coffee. So until the next time, thank you very much. I hope that you will join one of Sophia's mentorship programs so that you can then become eligible to join our galactic New Earth tribe as we continue on with this current Venus Leo goddess, that divine royalty goddess archetype, Synodic cycle journey. Until the next time, thank you so very much. All my love, my heart to yours. Bye-bye.